Is Hilltop Hoods dumb enough from their breakthrough album, The Calling, the most offensive song they've ever released? Therefore, have they banned it from performing live and even promoting it in any way because of some of the subject matter? There's only one way to find out. Lyrical Breakdown. What up? I'm LGNDRK, Legendary Behaviour. I'm a legendary rapper and a big Hilltop Hoods fan from back in the day. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through Dumb Enough and we're going to see what lyrics may or may not be too offensive for today's audience. Personally, as a rapper, I don't think you can be too offensive. I think you should be able to say whatever you want and people just got to deal with it. But the Hilltop Hoods might not feel the same way. So let's have a look at the lyrics. Firstly, I got to say, this is absolutely one of my favourite Hilltop Hoods songs. And it always will be, and it will always hold a really special place in my heart. So I'm a bit disappointed that they don't play it anymore, because yelling "It's a Swan" in an audience watching the Hilltop Hoods is one of the greatest things that anyone can do. And they're denying us of that these days. So let's see what we can do about that. Now, firstly, Pressure starts off the song, and he starts it off with an amazing statement. This is recreation. You know, at that point, this was not their job. They were still doing rap for the love of it. It wasn't until after The Calling blew them up that they were able to quit their jobs and start Vocation. A little disappointed he never started a song with "This is Vocation," but it's not as exciting. This is recreation. Set your station and get your place in a comfy seat. Pump this beat. Pressure will set the occasion. Sick flows, Pressure. Sick flows. Set your station. Normally Triple J. All right, back then it was normally Triple J. I know no one wants to listen to Triple J anymore, but back then you had to set your station, and sometimes you did need to sit down, get your place in a comfy seat, pumping the beat. Pressure often did set the occasion, especially when he started a song off this big. Now, for your entertainment, I work hard on my flows, and we really did appreciate that. He had magnificent flows, and it's good to know that that came from hard work. Some people have natural flows, but some people do have to put some work into it, and he did that for our entertainment. So thank you, Pressure. Thank you so much for the hard work that you put towards your flows. Now, this scene is full of falling MCs. I wear hard hats to shows. So, I mean, I don't think I even realised how dope this line was before. Falling MCs, as in they're falling from the sky, as in they're just falling, especially compared to Pressure, who was on a trajectory heading upways. All these other MCs were falling, and so he had to resort to safety first, wearing hard hats to shows so that the MCs would not crush his noggin. You know, you do what you got to do, and I do appreciate that he's considering his own safety. Not so much that of the falling MCs. Right on, Pressure. Every hip-hop head's a critic, because some hit the stage hard. Maybe he's talking about these MCs hitting the stage hard, like going too hard at first, trying through brute strength and just way too much energy, trying to get the crowd open. Now, our next line, this is one that you could consider controversial, but couldn't get these assholes open at a gay bar. So, it's a very clever line. He's saying that in trying to impress these hip-hop heads, who are all critics. They don't give enough. They're just critics. They're just sitting there just criticising everything you do, and you're rapping, working hard on your flows for their entertainment, and they give you nothing back. You couldn't get them open at a gay bar. Arseholes open gay bar. I'm going to leave you to understand that one. I don't think it needs to be explained. It's a comedy festival. They're so unintelligible, he can't work out if they got peas for brains or they're just vegetables, saying that they're comedians. Rappers can't be comedians, silly. So it must be the crowd. And that's just a very, very clever comparison, bringing vegetables in it. Now, it sounds pathetic as me being anorexic. Now, people with anorexia, I don't know. Would you be offended by this? Because he's saying it's as pathetic as him being anorexic, not you being anorexic. You might be really skinny, and you might not feel pathetic. He's saying if he was anorexic, it would be pathetic. I don't know why he would consider himself pathetic, especially, you know, if he's working hard on his flows. I don't think there's any reason for anyone to feel pathetic. I think they should just, you know, be happy in their own skin. Once again, though, the sort of thing that if you say something like that these days, you might get in trouble. You're not allowed to say things. So now, I do damage. This is an amazing line. I do damage like a paramedic with no anesthetic. Now, paralytics, drunkards might be offended by this. Paramedics that don't have anesthetic might be offended by this as well. They might take it to heart. They might be like, look, man, I've only got so many resources to do my job with. Why are you making raps about me? But it's a dope line. And I think anyone should be able to admit that. I do damage like a paramedic with no anesthetic. Amazing. Girls shake my hand. Guys want to hug me. It's a worry. He's not a hugger. Pressure. Suffa's probably a bit more of a hugger. Pressure does not seem like a hugger. But also, why do the girls shake your hand? For the same reason that guys want to hug you, mate. Because you're an awesome MC. So just embrace it and embrace the guys. If I forgot your name, I'm sorry. You're probably pretty ugly. A little bit shallow of Pressure. But, you know, he's being that arrogant MC. You got to allow someone with their rhymes to just throw a bit of bravado around. So don't get mad at Pressure for that. Especially if he forgets your name. You know, you just might not be what he considers beautiful, and that's okay. Pressure has his own tastes. He is scared of getting old, so maybe all of this is coming to a head. I'm scared of getting old, so when it comes D-Day, Death Day, when he dies, I'm going to thank you all for dissing me, then saying something cliched. So, you know, at some point, he's going to be thanking all of these hip-hop critics in the audience for dissing him, and then say something cliched, which is very shallow as well. I love this last line. It leads into the chorus very beautifully. And when I'm dead and buried, I want you in life, be in it shirts, at my cemetery singing, Hilltop hoods and we're coming up. When I'm dead and buried, I want you in life, be in it shirts. I don't know if everyone remembers Life Be In It. It was like a health campaign by the government to try and get people fit. I would love to have a Life Be In It shirt if anyone's got one out there. At my cemetery singing, Hilltop hoods and we're coming up. So amazing first verse by Pressure. The first chorus of this, Hilltop hoods and we're coming up. So step on up if you're dumb enough. If you really want to step to the Hilltop hoods, you must be dumb, bro. All right? You must be dumb. Pretty simple chorus, but leads into the next verse by Suffa wonderfully. People chant it's missed a line here in the Spotify lyrics, but people chant the chorus when they hear it. Yo, it's on. Yeah, they might chant that. You rise like a tsunami when you feel it. It's the bomb. And I don't know if Suffa's being a little bit funny about. Seems to have just done a few things around Japanese culture here. Tsunamis, it's the bomb in terms of Hiroshima, Nagasaki. People might like to be offended by that. Go ahead, be offended. And then he'll make origami of your lyrics, which at the time people think, what is he talking about with all this Japanese stuff? And you're like, how would you make origami of my lyrics? Luckily, Pressure asks him, gee, that's good, Suffa. What is it? So he's obviously made some origami for Pressure, given it to him, and he said, oh, that's good, mate. What is it? And then hits him with, it's a swan. It's a swan. Yeah, pretty beautiful way of demolishing someone lyrically using origami. Only the great MCs are able to do that sort of thing. He's got the shit to bomb MCs back to the Stone Age. So, yeah, he's going to send you back in the past. Bit of time travel. Why not? And on stage, he'll get you out your seat quicker than road rage. So when you're road raging and you get really angry and you get out of your car to go and fight someone, I wouldn't do this, but you might. When you're road raging, you get out of your car. That's the effect that he's having with you on stage, getting you out your seat quicker than road rage. And he'll take them all of the rappers. He'll take them all from beat jackers to backpackers. Now look, I've jacked a beat before, I'll be honest, man, and I've worn a backpack before, so he's going at me here. I'm not going to take offense. I don't need to, mate. He's doing mad raps, all right? You can't get offended by raps. And if you do, that's your problem. I take them all from beat jackers to backpackers with tracks fat as fuck around and muck on these whack rappers. Just a bit of wordplay, just a bit of sort of sick flows and sick ways of throwing words around and rhyming. But then it happened. What happened? What I thought could. I screwed all these MCs. Then it got awkward. I don't know if he's saying screwed in terms of he ruined them, or if he's saying, but it's an interesting line. And then he says, you don't want to see me anymore. It's always a bit of a baffling one, that one. I think it was just him trying to say some more kooky lines, seeing It's a Swan worked so well. Oi, Suffa, you can't sing. Now, in the words, I don't know if that's pressure, or maybe it's Debris saying that, because Debris did used to do a few little raps back in the day, so I don't know if maybe it's Debris saying that, but saying it to anyone, with Suffa continually doing these, you don't want to see me anymore. Not great singing, so you let him know. You let your mates know. If they're singing and you don't think they can sing, you let them know. And he admits it. Yeah, I can't even hum a tune. But he makes the crowd bounce like bed springs on a honeymoon. You know what I'm saying? So the crowd bounces to the songs, thanks to Suffa, and he can make them bounce like bed springs on a honeymoon. Now, on a honeymoon, when people often consummate their marriage and they're having relations, they might be moving a fair bit on the bed, prompting the springs on the bed to bounce a fair bit. So that's comparable to how he's making the crowd bounce, okay? I don't know if I needed to explain that to you, but sometimes I do. So there it is. Thank you. Come and do your best. Come at him, but it's still not good enough. Suff is rough. I'm with the Hilltop Hoods and we're coming up. Beautiful. Beautiful way to finish. Now, the next verse, bit of back and forth by the Hoods. Love it. Love it when rappers go back and forth. Just a true duo. Just going for it back and forth. So from the hilltops in the Andes to the Rockies in Canada, everywhere, we infected mics like Tommy did Pamela. Now, another thing I might have to explain. Tommy Lee from Motley Crue, Pamela Anderson were an item back in the day. Pamela Anderson of Baywatch fame. It is believed that Tommy Lee did give Pamela Anderson STDs. It is believed. I have never confirmed that, but if it's in a Hilltop Hoods song, I can understand it. And he's infecting mics, though. Look, I don't understand how you infect a mic, but maybe it's, yeah, just from rapping into it or something. I think it's probably a different method to how Tommy and Pamela happened, but I don't know. Suff, you do your thing, man. He's saying they gassed in their head. That trash you said was pure jealousy, like left foot, right foot's an invitation to step to me. These people that want to diss, they're gassed in their head. And talking about them, but it comes from a place of jealousy. It often does. When you're talking trash about other people, it's often because of issues that you need to deal with yourself. So think about that next time you want to step to the Hilltop Hoods, or anyone else for that matter. Now, Left Foot, Right Foot, that was their previous album. It wasn't as big as The Calling, but it was definitely not an invitation to step to him. I think it was more a motivational line, like left foot, right foot, keep it moving. You know, one foot in front of the other. Let's progress, and that they did. But it was not an invitation to step to the Hilltop Hoods, I don't believe, and that's what he says here. So you're losing your footing. You need some Velcro on them shell toes. So it's like your shoes are getting loose, and your Adidas shell toes. There was also a bit of a trend to not have any laces in your shell toes. There were Velcro versions if you didn't know how to tie your shoelaces, or if you just like the style. Referencing classic hip-hop shoes. In fights, I'm throwing rhymes. In rhyme fights, I'm throwing elbows. Very confused when MCs are constantly coming at you, either to fight you or to rap against you in a rhyme fight. So he doesn't know what to do. There's people coming at him from all directions. So he's elbowing people. Well, he's meant to be battling them. He's rhyming at people when he's meant to be fighting them. So just so confusing. I really feel for him. I move a crowd like stolen goods, so try and get a hold when you couldn't move your shit with a diuretic colon. He moves a crowd, as in makes them dance or bounce to his music, like stolen goods, because you move stolen goods, you sell them, right? Classic line, very good line. Referencing a bit of street crime. So try and get a hold when you couldn't move your shit with a diuretic colon. You couldn't move your music or to the crowd, or you couldn't move the crowd with a diuretic colon, where you don't need to try and move your excretion through the colon when it's diuretic, because diarrhea it stops for no man, and it just flows. I'm glad he didn't continue with that one, because I don't want to really go into it too much more. I already told them the hills are impossible. Yes, he's told us that. He's told us that, you know, they can't be messed with. They can't be stepped to. The truth hurts. This rhyme will put you in hospital. So if the truth does indeed hurt, like they say, his rhymes are so truthful that you will be severely injured and end up in hospital. Classic line. break it down like a molecule. Yeah, molecules are broken down or something science, but anyway, it's good. And we're burning like fossil fuel. Oh, back then they were commenting on the environment just like everyone is these days. They brought it up. So don't ban the song. They mentioned it before you were talking about fossil fuels and all of those things. I'm something of a phenomenon. I'm phenomenal. I love that. Especially the way I'm phenomenal comes in as part of phenomenon. It's also Suffa singing again. And we all know he can't sing and he can't even hum a tune. But something of a phenomenon. I'm phenomenal. I don't know what version of phenomenon they were referencing. I know there was an LL Cool J version, something of a phenomenon. I don't know what the first one was. Someone correct me. Go for it. These rappers, they don't want to fuck with Suff, even though he screwed them all. You better turn off your mic unless you're dumb enough. So just turn it off. Because if you're dumb enough to step to him, it's not going to end well. Because we're running up on stage from night until the sun is up. They're not stopping. They are going for it, and they will never stop. So if you're not willing to compete on that level, then don't step up, okay? Because they're coming up. So run amok. You're with the Hilltop Hoods, and we're coming up. And that's it. That is Dumb Enough by the Hilltop Hoods. An absolute classic. Plenty of lyrics and plenty of wordplay to be broken down. So if you didn't understand them all, now you do. Is there any other questions? Chuck them in the comments below. Have I got something wrong? According to you, chuck it in the comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts on the song. If you haven't heard it before and this is your first time hearing it, please, check it out and enjoy.